Welcome back to NeuroArkitect. The purpose of this channel is to guide and educate and mentor you in everything health related, wellness related, to really truly optimize the mind, the body, and spirit. And I just got back from optimizing my body. I was working out. And when you work out, your brain kind of goes into that default mode state. We're not actively, maybe excessively focused on any one thing. And so the mind likes to wander a little bit, and then you get bursts of inspiration and insight, right? And that's where this video is coming from, straight from inspiration. And this isn't necessarily new, but it is something that's been on my mind. It's been sort of percolating, and something I wanted to share. And in particular, was reading this book called The Code by Tony Burrows. And he mentioned how they went through this shift in understanding the problems that they were facing, him and the groups that he was running. And all it took was a shift in perspective to actually change and shift how we all could potentially shift our approach in dealing with that, right? And so what do I mean by that? Okay. The words we think affect the way we feel, and the way we feel affects the decisions and the actions that we're taking, right? Now, I want to give you this example from my own personal life really quickly, because this was something that I was feeling recently. But when we're in a state of fear and anxiety, and you're feeling anxious about things, right? Yeah, it's almost spurring you into action, which is a great thing in certain situations. But sometimes it's counterproductive, because when we are in that state, right, we lose so much of the our higher cognitive faculties, because so much more blood and oxygen gets pulled into the limbic system, into the back of the brain, away from the frontal lobes, right? And in that moment of feeling anxious and fearful and stressed and doubtful and uncertain, we just want to take action. And so any action just feels good because we're taking action, but it may not be the right action to take. And we throw ourselves into our work and into trying to fix it, do something about it, because it gives us the implication that there is forward momentum. But it may not be the right forward momentum, but forward momentum is still good. And this is why I actually encourage just going for a walk, moving the body. It's still engaging in that forward momentum, but you're not simply diving into action, unwise action, I should say, right? And in that, after that, you look to find some stillness, because it's in the stillness that we get those answers that we need. But going back to the first thought, the thoughts that we think affect how we feel. Now, I want you to go through this really quick exercise with me. Just start to think about the word problem and what that actually feels like inside the body when you have a problem, when we're dealing with problems. Problem, what does that feel like? Take a moment, close your eyes, and just tune into that for a quick second. Problem. Now, most of us, we're always dealing with problems. So we're always trying to solve our problems. So we're constantly caught in this loop of having problems to solve. Interesting how that works, right? But also because the mind then gets so used to focusing on problems that all it's going to do is just continue to serve you problems to deal with. Now, let's take that word and just replace it with the word challenge. Notice how that actually feels different. Even when you think of the word challenge, already it's got this more positive shift, right? A challenge is something that we can actually overcome. It's something that we can grow stronger by working towards overcoming, right? When we have challenges, we have something that we want to develop resilience and strength to be able to receive and accept, and to then surmount. So challenges, already just shifting the way we think about a situation, framing it from being a problem to a challenge, already shifts the way we're going to engage it, the way we're going to feel about it. And that actually liberates more resources in the brain to allow us to engage in more ingenuity and creativity. Now, let's see if we can actually get ourselves into a more positive shift. It's going to be challenging depending on it's going to be challenging depending on the kind of situation that you're dealing with. Some are very, 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 very difficult to deal with, and sometimes maybe just staying in that state of challenge, right, is enough. But let's see if we can even go further to see it as an opportunity, right? Because even the word opportunity, it's light. You feel a little loose, a little more elated. It's better. It's more positive. And when we can view a certain situation as an opportunity, we can start to actually see it as potential for growth, for development, for, new creative ideas to flow in, and new ways to go about handling and dealing with it. Simply seeing it as an opportunity, again, changes our relationship to it, and therefore we're actually moving more out of that fight or flight, fearful, doubtful, uncertain space in our mind, and actually, again, liberating so much more resources, allowing different parts of the brain to communicate more effectively, more readily, which again just provides deeper insight. Now, what if we can actually go even one step further? View it as a gift. Because I'm sure we can all think back onto moments that we had been through, that were challenging, that were problems, right? Then, and seeing a lot of the growth and the beauty that came from them. Some of these may have been extremely difficult, painful, but in hindsight, we can look back and say, wow, when I got sick, it caused me to go inward. It caused me to then do research. It caused me to shift my lifestyle. It caused me to then, as that started to happen, open up all these different doors and avenues and different paths to pursue. And you can always look back in hindsight with 20/20 vision and, see the gifts that were in those situations, that stemmed from those situations. And if we can just apply that perception onto whatever it is we're going through right now, wow, it's almost like a breath of fresh air, isn't it? And if you can get yourself into that place of just trying to see every single opportunity, not opportunity, but every single situation as a gift, you're going to go through life just growing and developing and surmounting and being served by life, because you're realizing, wow, it's no longer happening to me. It truly is happening for me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is an easy process. But I want you to start to recognize how simply shifting our perception, shifting the words we use, shifting our language alters the way we engage with, the way we feel, and then therefore the way we engage with life, with people, with different situations. So that's food for thought, guys. See where you fall, and different situations may leave you feeling, okay, this is more of a challenge. Okay, this I can actually feel more of an opportunity. Wow, this I can actually really lean into feeling, wow, this is a gift. So I'm not going to say it's universal for every single situation, although at the end of it, training ourselves to really be able to perceive everything as a gift and try to operate from that space, and it's not easy. Seeing if we can operate from that space and seeing how we then show up differently in the world and in dealing with those situations. So I'll leave you guys with that in mind. All right. Wishing you much love. Enjoy the rest of your week. Until next time. Peace out.